Am I overreacting? My ex-best friend and ex-boyfriend. I, 19 years old, broke up with my boyfriend, 23 years old, 3 days ago after finding flirty DMs he was sending to another girl. I've been trying to process everything while leaning on my best friend, 20 years old, for support. She was there when I was sobbing about the breakup, telling me I deserved better and how proud she was of me for walking away. Last night I found out through mutual friends that she has been texting my ex things like, "What are you up to?" One of our friends even showed me screenshots where she was talking about how he's single now and how she's always kind of had a thing for him. I confronted and she didn't even deny it. She said something along the lines of, "Well, you guys are over now, so it's no big deal. I didn't think it'd bother you since you're the one who ended things." I told her she's being a snake, especially since I'm still grieving the relationship. And she called to call me selfish for trying to control who she talks to. I thought she was my closest friend, and now I can't help but wonder if she's been waiting for this breakup all along. Should I let it go since we did break up? It's all just too much to process right now. Comment. To be honest, I think it's good to start my new year like this. I can get rid of all the negativity from my life and focus on myself. But don't overreact about it to her. Clearly, y'all broke up for a reason. Let her have him and let them be miserable together. Jumping into relationships that quickly will only lead to disaster. Just move on and don't talk to either one of them again. She's a snake and was never a real friend anyway. And if your ex-BF entertains her, then he's just as big of a pause. Just don't let them get to you and go no contact and move on and heal for yourself and find better friends and a better man in the future. Drop this friend immediately. She will not stop there. I had a friend like this once, and she kept on sleeping with dudes me and my friends dated. You're happier without these people. Update 1. I sat in the room, the dim light from the desk lamp making the space around me feel even heavier. My mind was spinning. Everything had happened so quickly, like a whirlwind pulling me in, and now all I wanted was a little peace to clarify my thoughts. But no, it wasn't that simple. She, the friend I had trusted wholeheartedly, had hurt me in a way I could never have imagined. This morning, as I went to work, I still couldn't shake the feeling that there was a deep wound inside me. I tried not to let this affect my work, but the sense of betrayal kept swirling around in my mind. Every time I looked at my phone, I saw the messages she sent to him, words full of hidden meanings that I couldn't just ignore. I decided not to text her anymore, not to call her, but when I got home, the truth confronted me with an even harder decision. A message from her had come through, not through our usual chats, but a video call. I answered the call and she appeared on the screen, her face soaked with tears. She was crying. "I'm sorry," she sobbed. "I know I was wrong, but I can't stop thinking about him. Everything I did, I just wanted to feel valued. I don't want to lose you, but he's the one I really want." Her words shocked me. The guilt and regret in her voice made it impossible not to doubt. Was this a real apology, or was she trying to gain forgiveness once again, as an excuse for her actions? "Honestly, I don't know what to do now," I replied, trying to stay calm even though my heart was burning inside. "You betrayed me. Not just him, but our friendship too. You've broken the trust I had in you." She choked up. "I don't want to lose you. I'll do anything to make it right. You're my best friend, and I can't live with this regret." I definitely still had feelings for her, but could these wounds ever be healed? Could our friendship be revived, or was I just being dragged into a pit of betrayal and empty promises? The answer wasn't simple. It wasn't about immediate forgiveness, but a long journey to regain the trust she had lost. In my heart, I began to wonder, should I let go completely? Or is there a chance for us to overcome this pain and move forward, even knowing that it would never be the same as it once was? Update 2. The next day, when I woke up, my mind was still heavy with the thoughts from our conversation yesterday. I couldn't resolve this in just one night. My feelings toward her were so complicated, both anger and sympathy. I decided to temporarily step away from everything to give my mind time to heal. But the truth, not long after, forced me to face a shock greater than anything I could have imagined. In the evening, as I was at home trying to work, I received an unknown call from a strange number. In that moment, I felt an indescribable sensation running down my spine. I answered the call and heard the voice of a man, his voice rough and a bit tense. "Sorry, I'm one of her friends. I need to tell you something." I was surprised. Her friend? I had never heard this voice before. The tension grew as I asked, "Who's calling?" "Don't hang up, I don't have much time. I just want to tell you the truth about your best friend." I froze. My heart started to race. He continued, "She didn't just like him. She knew everything before you and he broke up. But it's not because she liked him, it's because she helped him deceive you." I couldn't comprehend it. "What? Help him deceive me? How?" He sighed, his voice growing more serious. "She knew what he had done to you, and instead of telling you, she encouraged him to continue. She was the first to know he would betray you, but instead of stopping him, she told him that if she had the chance, she wouldn't do the same." It felt like a slap in the face. My throat tightened. My hands started to shake. "What are you talking about?" He was silent for a moment before continuing. "She did it because she wanted a chance with him. She told me that if he didn't have anyone, she wouldn't hesitate to try again." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. These words hit me like a punch in the chest, almost suffocating me. My best friend, the one I had trusted completely, was the one who actively encouraged my betrayal. Part of me didn't want to believe this truth, but the man's voice was too clear, too certain. Before I could calm myself down, I received a message from her. "I'm sorry, I can't stay silent anymore. I've done something wrong and I can't take it back, but please don't hate me." I sat down on the chair, my heart pounding wildly. I didn't know what to do, didn't know how to feel. The truth had been revealed, but it was too painful to accept. My closest friend hadn't just betrayed me. She had deceived me all along, and I wondered, would I be strong enough to face the relationships around me after this shock? Perhaps I would have to rebuild everything from scratch, but maybe only time would help me heal these wounds. Update 3. Time passed, and gradually I found peace within myself. My relationship with her had ended, not only because of her betrayal, but also because of what I had learned about myself through this ordeal. I realized that sometimes the closest relationships can cause us the most pain, but it's these wounds that help us grow. Every day, I learned how to let go. I no longer allowed feelings of anger or disappointment to control me. I found joy in the little things, like an afternoon walk in the park or a quiet evening talking with my family. I didn't need her in my life to feel worthy, and I knew that even though my romantic relationship and my friendship had ended, I could still move forward and find trust in the people around me again. Finally, I decided to text her once more, but this time, it was to say goodbye. "I'm sorry for what happened, but we can't go back. I hope you find your own path." She didn't reply immediately, but a few days later I received a short message from her. "Thank you for the good memories. I wish you happiness." That was all I needed to hear. Our relationship couldn't be revived, but perhaps in a world full of deceit and pain, this ending was a form of freedom. I wouldn't let the past control my future. For me, life would go on. And even though there were painful shocks along the way, I understood that I was stronger than I ever thought. The wounds would heal, and in the process, I would find my own path, a path free from betrayal, free from pain. Only freedom remained to take control of my life. Update 4. Sometime later, everything gradually returned to a normal pace. I no longer felt the sharp pain in my heart whenever I thought about her or the memories of the broken relationship. Although the wound had healed, the lessons I had learned from this breakup remained intact. I understood myself better, the value of honesty and the importance of trust in every relationship. Work became more enjoyable, and I started embracing new opportunities that I might have once overlooked. I met new friends, not because I wanted to replace what was lost, but because I understood that each relationship had its own unique value. While I couldn't erase the past, I had learned not to let it hold me back from moving forward. One afternoon, I happened to run into her. She was standing in a cafe, her gaze uncertain, as if waiting for a reaction from me. At first, I didn't know what to say, but then I realized there was no need to say anything. We had gone through so much to get here, and now everything was just the past. She looked at me, her eyes no longer full of hesitation. "I've learned a lot from everything that happened," she said, "and I hope you found peace within yourself." I smiled, a gentle smile, not to forgive or to fill the void, but to show that I was no longer affected by the old stories. "Thank you," I replied. "We had some beautiful memories, and now it's time to move on." She nodded, saying nothing more. We stood there in silence, like old friends who had once been very close, but were now growing apart. After a moment, I turned and continued walking down my path. Life may not always be easy, but I knew I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, not with fear, but with maturity and belief in myself. And no matter how things changed, I knew I had learned how to let go in order to preserve my freedom and inner peace.